Hi, this is Jason Smith with HSMAI, and we're here today talking to marketing expert Porter Gale. And Porter's going to be speaking at one of our upcoming events. Good morning, Porter.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thank you for being with us today and talking about the future of marketing. Really is what you'll be speaking about at our event. And just had a few questions on your thoughts on marketing today, and especially digital marketing. You talk about organizations being digital or marketing driven. What does that mean to you?
Sure. Being a marketing-driven organization is obviously, looking at the marketplace, understanding your customers. But I think one of the most important things right now is to make sure that you don't have silos within your organization and that teams are working together to understand, both kind of the brand, but also all the data that's being gathered online. We can learn so much about the decision-making process. A marketing organization is really thinking about how they're bringing their product and their service to market.
And everything is kind of digital in the world today. Would you say, leading off of that organizations really should be digitally marketing driven these days?
You know what? I am a strong believer in digital. As some of you know, I was the CMO at Virgin America. And during my time there, I really started to understand just how powerful digital is. People carry their mobile phones with them all the time. 97% of consumers have mobile phones. More and more decisions are being driven through digital. They're also being influenced by conversations that are happening on digital in terms of social media. And so all companies really need to think about what is happening in the digital space.
And in terms of independent hotels, smaller marketing organizations within the hospitality industry, how can they really keep pace with the changes that are happening in the digital market?
Sure. You're right. It is hard to keep pace because things are happening so quickly. But some of the basics would be really understanding what's happening on your website, understanding what the conversation is in social media, and also on Yelp reviews, and looking at why people are buying or not buying. And so those are kind of the top three things that I would do. Make sure that you have strong analytics in place and keep focused on it.
Yeah, the term big data, of course, is everywhere, today. Is that, something that really comes into play for marketers today?
I think the term big data, it's obviously been a buzzword. The most important thing to think about with that is that the data isn't relevant unless you can pull the insights out. So make sure that you've identified maybe three items that you want to be benchmarking and look at that are data driven and track those three things. It's important not to overwhelm yourself because if you have too much data coming in and no ability to glean insights, then it's not valuable. So identify those core things that you need to look at. For Virgin America, we really were focused on cost per acquisition. We looked at all of our channels where we were getting customers and what did it cost? What did it cost per email, per social media, through SEM, through SEO. So get benchmarks, use the data, and really track your results.
Yeah, that's definitely a big job these days, but very important to seeing what your outcomes are. So, I know you were named a digital passionista by Huffington Post. What do you see in terms of how much passion there is that's going into digital marketing and marketing today in social media and other digital channels? Do you really see a lot of passion?
Oh, yes. I think that, the social media space, the digital space, it's only going to become more and more important. And some of the core reasons is that we are starting to understand the relationship between contexts. So for example, if you and I were both looking at a hotel property, if people are logging in through Facebook, I could tell, potentially if you've gone there, if you looked at it. So the shared economy and looking at the relationships between people, that's going to become more and more important. The other thing that's happening is that with our mobile phones, there's obviously a tracking device so people know where we are all the time. So things like localization, your distance from a hotel property, all of those things are going to be more important, and marketers are going to be able to use that to their advantage. So digital is not going to stop the role of the consumer and the community and the reviews, more and more important as time goes by.
So, in terms of time going by, the general topic for your session at the HSMAI Digital Marketing Strategy Conference is on the future of marketing. Without trying to predict everything, what would be one thing that you would say, our audience and digital marketers in the hotel world can expect to happen in the near future?
Sure. The one thing that I think is really important for people to remember is that your product and your service is marketing. And the reason that is so is because conversations are happening all the time. We're in a 24/7 world. And so you really need to look at everything that you're doing in terms of every touch point and how the consumer is going to convey that and perceive it. So product and services marketing, and that is all going to be talked about in this digital landscape.
Great. Well, I'm sure it's going to be a great session at the conference. We really appreciate you taking some time today to give us a little preview. If anybody wants some more information, please visit hsmai.org for information on our Digital Marketing Strategy Conference and all of our other upcoming events. So thanks, Porter.
Sure. I'm looking forward to the conference. Thanks for having me.